Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Green and this is another in my videos that deals with Algebra 1. Now we are approaching the end of Unit 7 that deals with linear equations and all the things linear and any linear inequalities and things like that. So you best start getting ready now. We're going to be approaching the end of it. That means a unit test coming up. So what am I looking at today? Today I am looking at modeling. What in the world are you talking about modeling? Well, when you think about a model, a lot of you might think about, like model airplanes or a model car. It kind of represents a smaller version of a bigger item. Okay? It's just not necessarily the full-size thing, just a littler version of it. Well, that's kind of what we're doing. We're going to come up with something that represents a, a situation. Now, remember when we talked earlier in the semester, we said that algebra was just a method of solving puzzles, solving games, solving problems. Well, that's what we're looking at here. We're going to be given word problems. We're going to have to write them out as equations and then solve them. Okay? So let's read this first one. It says, you were 20 inches tall at birth and 48 inches tall on your 8th birthday. Create a linear equation to represent this situation. See, a model, a linear equation to model it. That's what they're asking for. According to your equation, how tall will you be at age 20? And then they give you a big hint. Plug in 20 for x and solve it for y. So let's see here. If we let x be what? X is going to be our, let's see here. Do the inches determine how old I am, or does how old I am determine the inches? So we're going to let x be age, because that's how old I am, right? And then what I can say is, if I say y is going to be how tall I am. I am. Okay. So one of the first things you do when you get this is you think, well, if this is x and y, let's write some points because they gave me some. They said 20 inches at birth. That means I was at 0 years old, I was 20 inches. And then on your 8th birthday, that'd be at 8, I was 48 inches high. Now you notice how I did that. I've got the y is how tall I am. That's why I had to write that one second in each one of these points. The age goes in the first one. Now we're going to write the slope. We've got a formula for finding slope. We can say 48 minus 20 divided by 8 minus 0 is equal to 28 over 8, which is equal to, let's see here, dividing by 2. I get 14 over 4. Dividing by 2 again, I get 7 over 2. That's what I'm going to use for my slope, 7 over 2. Now we've got an equation for a linear equation. We can say, you know what, since I've got 2 points, I'm going to use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That is the point slope. Since I've got the slope and a point, all I gotta do is plug one of the points in here. So I'm going to say y minus 20 is equal to 7 over 2 times x minus 0. Well, x minus, this is going to be just x in there. So I'm actually going to get y minus 20 is equal to 7 over 2x. Add the 20 to both sides and I'll get y is equal to 7 over 2x plus 20. Now, I know some of you are going to be asking, Mr. Green, why did you use this point? Why didn't you use the other one? You know what? Let's do it with the other one just to see what we get. Y minus 48 equals 7 over 2 x minus 8. Well, we're going to use the distributive property and we're going to multiply everything out here. So we're going to get y minus 48 is equal to 7 over 2 x minus, well, 7 times 8 is a 56 over 2. Wait a second, that reduces down. That reduces down to 28, doesn't it? 28. So what am I going to get? When I add the 48 to both sides of this, I'm going to get y is equal to 7 over 2 minus 28 plus 48. Wait a second, that combines down. I'm going to get y is equal to, I'm sorry, 7 over 2x. Y is equal to 7 over 2x plus 20. Hey, I got the exact same equation, didn't I? Ta-da! Well, that was pretty simple. Now, the next thing they wanted to know was, how tall are you going to be at age 20? Well, we need to stick 20 into these equations. So we're going to say y equals 7 over 2 times 20 plus 20. Well, 2 goes into 20 10 times, so that's going to be 70. So that's going to be 70 plus 20. That's 90 inches. That's how tall I will be at age 20. 90 inches high. Okay? So this would be 90. Or this point here would be 20, 90. However you want to look at that. Cool? Well, let's look at another one, see what we can do here. This one says the population of Spring City was 5,000 in 1990 and 72,500 in 2000. Once again, does the year depend upon the population, or does the population depend upon the year? I think the population depends upon the year. So the year is going to be the x value. So I'm going to have 1990, comma 5,000. That's 1 point. And I've got 2,000, comma 7250 is the other point. Given 2 points, I can find the slope, right? So my slope is going to be equal to 7250 minus 5,000 divided by 2,000 minus 1990, and that's going to be equal to, let's see here, 2,250 divided by 10. That'll cancel out, so I'll get is equal to 2,000 or 225. Now, what does that slope represent? Well, that's representing that the population is growing by 225 people every year. It's a yearly growth rate. Okay? So our equation, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I'm going to pick either one of the two values. Like I've already shown you, it doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to say y minus 7250 is equal to 225 times x minus 2000. Okay, well, I'm going to multiply these things out here a little bit, and I'm going to have y minus 7250 is equal to 225x minus, let's see here, 2 times 225 is 450. So that's going to be 450 with 3 zeros behind it. 450,000. So then I add this 7250 to both sides. 250. And I'm going to get y is equal to 225x plus 457,250. Boy, can't even speak. Okay? Now they wanted to find the population in the year 2006. That means I'm sticking 2006 right in there. So that's going to be 225 times 2006 plus, oh, I added that on and got a wrong number. See, this was a negative here, and I added this, didn't I? So, whoops, we're going to have to change that number right there. So we're going to have 4, let's see, we're going to change that to a 4, and then we're going to have a 2, 7, 5, 0. 42750. So plus 442,750. That's not a plus, it's a minus. Sorry, minus. Okay, well, I can't do that multiplication in my head, so I'm picking up my handy dandy calculator, which I have sitting here next to me and on the couch. So I turn it on, and I go 225 times 2006, and I get this huge number of 451,350. And we subtract 442,725. So minus 442,725. And I wind up getting let's see here. It helps if I do it right. I get 8,000. Where'd my pen go? I get 8,625. 8,625. So that means in 2006, it would be 8,625 people. I hope you guys see how I'm working those, okay? They're not difficult. It's just a matter of working through the problem, making certain you write it completely down, and you write out the equation you're going to use. You find the slope, stick one of the points in, get your equation. Well, there's my equation right there. Okay? And then try to find the value they want you to find. Cool? Okay. Well, that's enough for today, and I'll see you next time.